foolish.
Peppy. No! No! I could have saved him. I could have saved him. You. He'd still be alive if it wasn't for this wretched cardboard! Ugh.
Star Fox Labo, only on Nintendo Switch.
And he was only 3 weeks away from retirement!
The last time I talked Wii U here on Colonel Fantasy Reviews was in March 2016, when the reports of Nintendo ending production on it was still just a widely speculated yet all but confirmed rumor. In the wake of the console's inevitable demise, I made my list of the top 10 video games for the Wii U. In case you didn't know, that video was provided by iSkysoft Video Editor. It's very subtle.
And maybe you can call it channeling a little bit of foresight, but it seems like every Wii U game I intend to talk about happens to be an entry that I share a very contrast of opinions about with the populace, Star Fox Zero being one of them. This is a game that I really like, and I think it's a good entry in the series. There are some flaws with it, but I don't really think it deserves the hate that it gets.
Nintendo was assisted in production courtesy of Platinum Games, so this already makes it one of the greatest video games ever made because Platinum Games can do no wrong. This entry serves as a refresher or a reboot of Star Fox 64, which for better or worse is a trait that's becoming all too common with games. Not that I'm looking for any kind of substantial plot development in my rail shooter in the first place, but I already played Star Fox 64, why am I playing it again? As I currently lack the capacity to record all of my gaming devices in HD, my footage is not doing these visuals any real justice, and I apologize for that. I intend to rectify this as soon as I can. Slightly further elaborating on this being a remake of the N64 game, visually speaking, this first run on Canaria is almost a frame-by-frame remake of the original scenario, so that brings back a lot of memories. It's not really a graphically demanding game, but it does run at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second with no drops in performance from my playthrough. There won't be too many opportunities during action to admire the scenery except during the cutscenes, so it'll look just like a Star Fox game. And in the end, there's nothing particularly negative about that. There are a few instances during all range mode or using the land turkey that I had a difficult time navigating myself around. That's more tied to the controls rather than the visuals, more on that later. The controversial cockpit view is in 720p, but it still looks very polished. During cutscenes, you can actually still pilot around and take down enemy targets given the chance, which will help boost your overall score at the end of the stage. I love that because it means that my gaming experience doesn't have to grind completely to a halt just to listen to characters jibber-jabber back and forth, while I stand there holding the controller like a complete idiot.
Fox, you made it! Bill, is that you? It's been a while. We've got a fleet to save if you're interested.
The graphics are always a nice bonus, but never really have to be Star Fox's strongest suit, nor is it a particular requirement. It lacks the visual horsepower of a Bayonetta 2, but with the view from the cockpit being a really cool immersive addition alongside the neat polished update of a familiar look, I give Star Fox Zero's graphics an 8.1. The music is very Star Foxy, that's a rather lazy way to describe things, but it can be adrenaline pumping and filled with tension at the same time. Call me a stickler for the time period, but those tracks from the Super Nintendo Star Fox are still unbeaten in my eyes.
Like the DualShock 4, the Wii U gamepad emits its own sound. It even has a built-in microphone that I don't think any game ever actually used, but it's stereo and very crystal clear, and it's kind of immersive for some games. The audio from Star Fox Zero emits exclusively from the gamepad. So good to the point that I thought that while recording this, I thought I'd screwed something up and I didn't record any of the actual in-game dialogue. Turns out, all comes from this.
There's also an option to turn the 3D sound off so you can just have it emit from your television or soundbar instead of the audio coming from the gamepad. crisp explosions, the zapping of the blasters, this is the best overall audio presentation of a Star Fox game. I give it 9 out of 10. Talking controls. Now this is clearly the most polarizing aspect of Star Fox Zero, and it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. It made Star Fox gimmicky and ruined the experience. They should have had an option to turn it off and fly around like normal. It would have made the game better. It would have made the game more user-friendly, but nothing about the game's mission nor its layout and integral design would have felt like a step forward. It would have been going backwards. The Gyrowing, Landmaster, and the Walker aren't tethered by conventional control schemes, and the game throws you into the fire before you have a real adept opportunity to get acclimated to them in battle. In a little bit of defense of the dissenters about Star Fox Zero, it can be fairly frustrating as these alternative vehicles are kind of breaks from the norm and disrupt the flow of game. With the exception of the Walker, which is an on-the-fly transformation, the Gyrowing and the Landmaster are prominently featured in specific stages at minimum twice. Star Fox fans just want to fly around and engage in hair-raising dogfight.
What? That wasn't a pun!
The motion-guided reticle aids in providing a more accurate shot when piloting the R-Wing, but it's because control layouts can feel so radically different from portions of Star Fox Zero that are generally more than a mission or two, and without a true manner of customizing your controls to your heart's content, I can understand the sense of feeling shackled.
Broadcasting to all units, you must get through that shield! Let's do this!
Star Fox Zero is telling you what to do and forcing you to conform to its philosophy rather than coaxing the user. A Platinum Games member expressed the frustration of working with Miyamoto and how the vision of Star Fox Zero was to be laid out, and in some manner that can actually be seen, or felt rather. Without practice, learning to adjust between having the X and Y axes being used in two different manners at once while having to press a button is like being told to try and navigate a tank after riding nothing but a bike your whole life. Also, constantly resetting the default position of the reticle can be a little bit annoying. We are in control, we got this! Actually kind of pleased with the way I was just about to say I'm kind of pleased with the way this mission is going, considering how much health I got left, but I think I can get in and out. Come on, lift! Give me some lift! Yeah! Take that. Alright, time to hack a wait a Yo! Alright, I've had too many cokes. Straight and narrow. Come on! It's like driving a Pinto. Well, good.
Game over, yeah!
With that being said, I find these unique controls a welcome effort, and my learning curve was not really all that sharp. Well, there was some hiccups along the way. There may be some obtuse moments for a game that requires a lot of focus on high-octane action, but I'm glad it's different. Call it settling for crap if you wish, or merely making lame excuses to justify a lofty and unconventional control scheme, but you want to know what I'm tired of over the last 15 years? Putting a game in my cutting-edge console and feeling regularly unimpressed with how everything I'm playing feels exactly like the same thing I played 100 times over. Slapping Star Fox 64 control options on the Star Fox Zero would turn it into Star Fox 64, which is what I've already played in the first place. Remember that reboot I mentioned earlier? Yeah, I remember it like it was just yesterday.
This entry serves as a refresher or reboot of Star Fox 64, which for better or worse is a trait that's becoming all too common with games.
The way that I see it, a game like Star Fox Zero culminates a lot of the incoherent frustrations with the Wii U. If you have a game that doesn't utilize the Wii U's gamepad's unique functions in any particular way, then it's considered a waste, and it's like, oh, why did they bother with a tablet? But if you have a game that exclusively utilizes a lot of its functions, then it's considered a frustrating mess, and it's very gimmicky. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess.
But what I translate that into is more of a thinly veiled justification that trying to make a new way to approach a video game is a waste of time, and reducing them all to the same paint-by-numbers formula that the masses have all grown accustomed to is the proper way to ensure a game's mass appeal.
And hey, guess what comes along with being presented a placid shell and run-of-the-mill product designed to appeal to the masses?
Well, as we say in the measuring business, we don't rule out anything. Howdy do, ladies and gentlemen. Richly Pockets here with a very special offer for all of you gamers out there.
It's template gaming, suitable for any game developer that's far too lazy and complacent to come up with innovative ideas or intuitive game design. Video games demanding more from you other than your ability to follow directions? Problems with being able to deduce through clever game design by proving too hard to implement for your average-minded developer looking to make a quick buck? With template gaming, you can make players feel special by putting pretend power in their hands by not changing anything at all about the formula. Dumb your video game and constantly tell players that they're playing the best ever with trophies and achievements. Forgo efforts to ask players to adapt by providing something that they've figuratively played before and they'll feel like experts.
Template gaming. Patent approved.
What happened to your accent?
Well, that's a fantastic question. And you just won yourself a wired DualShock 4.
Actually, that's a PlayStation 3 wired
I love Star Fox Zero. For its shortcomings, and it does have some, I'm not completely blind to that, the controls provided a brand new experience and something that's completely familiar, and it made it feel unique to the Wii U. I feel that a port to the Switch would certainly be praised because it would give this game another chance, but I think removing the core elements exclusive to the gamepad would just be another example of template gaming. I mean, barring they do something nifty with the HD motion controls. But template gaming is something I don't want to become synonymous with Nintendo products. Yeah, they took a gamble on this game and it had less than stellar results, but I find that no reason to remove the launch pad just because the idea didn't work. Star Fox Zero will be a very memorable experience for me because these specific set of controls on this one-of-a-kind console challenged me in a manner that I felt no other video game I've played on a home console has. In a really long time anyways. In the end, I think that deserves more merit than it's initially. Wait, what?
Holy snap! I just hacked that robot! I just hacked that robot! I did that of my own free will, my own volition, no blinking icons. I just decided, hey, you know what? It's got a glowing square. Maybe if I put thing over that, and I hacked it! That's freaking cool! They didn't tell me to do that! That's the kind of thing in games that I'm talking about! That's what makes a game good! You know what? Forget what I said. Forget what I said, alright? There are no flaws with this game. It's 10 out of 10! 10 out of 10! Star Fox Zero is a 10 out of 10. It gets perfect score from me. Absolutely no flaws. Greatest Star Fox game ever. Unicorns, show ponies, where's the beef? The way that I see it, a game like Star Fox Zero culminates a lot of the frustration. The way that I see it, a game like... I didn't know where I was going with that one. Sorry. It's been a while. He's even more decayed. Oh! Huh.